Hi, everybody. This is Melissa, your Range Psychic. It's August 18th, 2026. Hey, Daniel. Hey, Palmaran. How are you guys doing? Another insane week, of course. How could it not be? Um, what's the weather like where you guys are? Yeah, here too. Of course, we're relatively in the same place, aren't we? It's a lovely day. Hey, Brenda, how are you doing? So I've been thinking about what I want to talk about today. There is so much. Hey, Buffy. Oh, yeah, no worries, Buffy. Um, but I think I say this probably every video or something like that, or something like this that I'm about to say. But I guess I want to hammer it home because it's so easy. Hey, Ivy. Um, it's easy to forget in the midst of all the flood the zone type news stuff where we ponder, how can Trump do this? How can this administration be this way? But all the money laundering, all the attempt to consolidate power into the executive branch and the presidency, all the cheating, all the gaslighting, everything. Hey, Kathy, good to see you. And of course, it's because we're not being, in my opinion, I'm just psychic, entertainment purposes only, whatever. But as far as my perception is, we're being run by the Kremlin, and the way that the Putin runs his own government is what is being emulated here in this country. And so, if you look at how Putin runs his government, I mean, case in point, our poor servicemen and women on the tanker out there, the air freight carrier, is in the Straits of Hormuz, and the 9 months of absolute neglect, torture, starvation to the point where they're jumping off the ship. It's horrific. Well, that's how Putin treats his army. He has lost over 1.6 million service people, some of them from other countries that, I'm sure literally, in my opinion, bought them as slaves, really, from cannon fodder, because they don't live very long. I mean, I don't even think they live a day or something when they go over there. It's shocking how quickly the troops that are sent over are they're not even trained. They're maybe have a 7-day training or something. It's insane. And so they just keep on pouring troops and troops. They don't care. They do not care about their service people, their soldiers, and they're not even. I don't think the bodies are sent home. I just think there's like, I don't even know if there's mass graves. There's mass incinerators. So here you have kind of mirrored Hesketh's approach to the troops, and the orange ones, total imperviousness, is that a word, to their suffering, to the point where he said that they're not suffering long. Well, he didn't say they're not suffering long enough. He said they've only been there for 9 months. That's not long enough. They need to be there longer. I don't even know where that comes from in his mind, but that is the attitude towards our troops. Plus, if you think about it, beyond that, as far as I can see, Russia, maybe, with China's approval or North Korea's approval, etc., they destroyed our bases, our strength in the military in the Middle East. Our bases are, I don't know what the percentage is, but so many of our bases have been totaled, have been wrecked destroyed, I should say, by Iran. Why? I don't think it's because Iran is, although, they have a very good army. I never believed that we destroyed their army. I never did. I thought that's such a lie. But, Iran and Russia are allies. If Russia just, let's just kind of like hypothetically go there. If we do have Russia running our country after a coup, right? A successful coup, then there's something nefarious about this attack on Iran out of the blue, out of nowhere, and then every move we make seems to strengthen them, really, including giving them authority over the Straits of Hormuz, which is like, that never happened before. Like, that was a shared port. And now they have a stranglehold over the world's economy. How did that happen? I can't believe that was unintentional or because of stupidity. I believe it was very much guided by, and I see it like I see in my mind's eye. I'm not saying it's true or not, but Hesketh speaking fluent Russian, and that there probably are Russian advisors, generals, whatever, are now in the Pentagon guiding this, so that it's a brilliant plan, really, to destroy our country and its military from within. And I think that is Khrushchev who said that would happen, that without, they would take over America without firing a single shot. And it's just overwhelming to think that this actually has happened, and how our guard was down and allowing it to happen. Hey, Kathanese, good to see you. I'm glad it's a sunny day. There's a sunny day here too, Kathanese. I'll start putting I love you too, Portland girl. Thank you. And you let me know what you think about this, but it's just obvious to me. It's obvious. And when you see somebody like Natalie Harp, who is what they call her, the diaper girl. Where did she come from? Why is she in like Flynn? Why is she just right there next to Trump? Because I think she's a Russian plant. And I actually Googled that this morning, and post came up, and one analysis in particular was that yes, think about where she first came to the consciousness of the Republicans, and Trump was on own, right? So One American News, which is totally bankrolled by Russia. So, of course she is. And that's why she has to be there by his side. And the posts that she's making, some of them are blatantly from Russia propaganda. Blatantly. So that's what's been on my mind. And I want to, just so we can stand, and then you have to accept what I say, but it just makes sense. That is why things are the way they are. And I get frustrated with like, why can't the army step in? I mean, look at what's happening to them. Even the fired generals, can't they just decide, well, they were fired. They weren't really fired by this country. They were fired by Russia. So they can come in and intervene. It's my prayer. Daniel says all the corruption has been behind closed doors. Now it's out in the open. Yeah, and that is something that maybe the spiritual reason for this, or the karmic reason, is we really see it now. And even with Republicans, this war is very unpopular, and Hesketh is like I think has the lowest, even below the orange one, the lowest popularity, like minus 33 or something crazy like that. He's very, very unpopular. Nobody likes him. So that's what I wanted to get out. And yeah, so anybody want to talk about anything you want to talk about? Sorry to go off like that. It's just been driving me crazy. And of course it would. It's uncomfortable to live in a coup, a country, as far as I can see, being run by another country that's not particularly, it's a look at what Russia's been doing to its own people. Yikes. So what, 25,000 drones defeated $1 million bombs. Guess who won? So that's there is a reason. There has to be a reason why this is happening. And that's the reason, and it's been in the works for a long time. I'm trying not to be disappointed by Biden's government not catching this and not being able to put a stop to it. But I think there was probably a lot of betrayal going on, a lot of subterfuge, and I think Russia really exploited loopholes in our constitution and our government that disabled us, from being able to, well, detect, things like Leon's interference. So, you guys still there? Any comments? All of a sudden, the comments just stopped. I hope I'm still on the air. Hey, Mimi Rose. Let's see. Oh, what is your question? When will him and his regime be gone? Is our democracy gone? So every time I talk to my guides, they tell me democracy will not end, that our democracy will come back strong. They always tell me that. And I'll ask them now. Yeah, the guys are saying that democracy will come back powerfully, more so than it has been in the past. You have this like overwhelming push towards accountability, towards justice, and the result in the end will be a much stronger country. And they also say that we will be accepted back in the world. The world will trust us again. I hear a lot of people saying, a lot of commentators saying, it will take decades and decades to get any trust back. Why would people trust us? Well, any democracy is vulnerable to the next election. So any country out there that's a democracy or a state or whatever, or local election is going to be vulnerable. Democracy has that vulnerability. But I mean, that's just true of all governments. Look at Hungary. We trust Hungary now, right? Last election, Orban gets kicked out. We're open arms now to Hungary. And that's just how it is. It's not like we're the worst country in the world when it comes to that, or we drop the ball and we can never pick it up. That's people understand how democracies work. And when, a new leader gets put in charge, then it's a new ball game. Oh, and it disappeared. No wonder. I was wondering where people were. I'm good that it came back. Maybe I'm being kind of shadow banned or something. I wonder sometimes, because I should have a better filter than I do. I don't know if this is a comfortable thing to talk about. Maybe YouTube they don't kick me off, but they put me in a corner, and people, or I disappear from people's feeds or something. I don't know, but I could not talk about this stuff, but I got to talk about it. Somebody has to talk about it. It's just my opinion. It's just my perception. I'm not saying it's fact. Oh, thank you, Sandra. Thank you so much. It's the sun on my shoulders here. it's been so beautiful out there. Rabia says, I think we have to focus on the world we want and have the truth about 2024 to come out. All of this will bring us to a better place. I 100% agree. Mimi Rose says, good news, thank you. Carolyn says, is there a bigger strategy behind nothing happening, or is it just because Biden's administration followed the law and the Constitution? That's an excellent question. Let me ask here. There is a bigger strategy. I've seen this before. There's stuff going on behind the scenes that involves, it's like what the Republicans would like to say is our deep state, but people joining forces like who are fighting for our democracy, like almost like in an underground, who kind of prepared for this, because we kind of saw with 2025 that plan, what was coming out. I mean, it was all in there. And NATO, yes, things are happening behind the scenes, very, very much so. There's movement there. That's what I feel. Sandra's saying Drumpy is just finishing up what he didn't accomplish. Yeah, the first. He must have, maybe that's what it is in his diaper, right? Alleged diaper, tells a bunch of cash. Where he's stuffing his cash. It's so big. I was going to say deep pockets, but then I thought, no, it's a diaper area. Because the grifting, the theft, it's mind-boggling. And we don't seem to have time to stop for a second and say, can you really justify the expense of the reflecting pool or the ballroom? And where's all this money going? You know, or like the money going to the army when we're running out of munitions. Like, where is that money going? And it's definitely a shell game. It's like a huge shell game of moving around money here, there, money laundering, as far as I can see, and theft, just pure out embezzlement and theft, done on such such a fast pace, I guess, that the hope is that we won't be able to pinpoint it. Yeah. And they're showing me people like Woodcock and Vogt and Lutnick. They're so arrogant. But they're showing me the criminality and the absolute. There's nothing they wouldn't do for the heist, and it's a heist. It's a huge heist. Robbie is saying Vance just took Russia's side. Oh, yes, absolutely. Because who owns Vance, as far as I can see? Putin. He's, Vance works for Teal, but they work for Putin. And who does Dumpy work for? Putin. Everybody's working for Putin. and so, of course, they're getting more and more blatant, like in the administration ending war games with South Korea and looking like they want to partner up with Kim Il-sung, for the first time in our history of those war games. Because North Korea is part of the axis of evil, and we are now part of the axis of evil. And that was clear, from the beginning, and with the Doge and cutting all the programs and aid for the, other countries, and taking away Voice of America, which had to be bought back by court law. But they wanted to do away with Voice of America, which was America's voice in the world, and it's dizzying to think about that this has happened. Daniel's saying gas price, food prices, healthcare costs, people being dragged off the streets, data centers. If folks aren't outraged about Republican policies, then this country's doomed. Well, they are outraged, as far as I can see, Daniel, given the polls, given the protests, hearing interviews with people and the unpopularity of MAGA now, which is really decreasing. I don't believe, I'd hate to think this country is doomed. Whatever happens, my guides always remind me we have to rise above our time, just like we would have had to in any other lifetime if we'd lived through Hitler's Germany, or there were so many corrupt and evil administrations or evil societies over the millenniums that we've been on Earth, and we've had to rise above them spiritually, because we keep on coming back again and again and facing different things. But my guides show me this country is, I'll ask again, is this country doomed? Do you want me to ask that? No, the guides say this country is not doomed. People will rise up. It's just in the stars. It's just Aquarius. It's just, and also it's exactly that we have like some of the exact same astrological aspects as the French did, during the French Revolution, and we did during our own revolution. It's all come full circle, they say, coming back, because we didn't take care of business the first time. We kind of like with the Civil War, we kind of let things go. All those forces that have been around for a long time, good versus evil, whatever. But we're here to do a better job and desire freedom, desire democracy. Because they say the gaslighting of the oligarchs, they own the social media, right? They do a pretty good job of lulling us to sleep and lying to us or addicting us to rabbit holes, false information. That whole vaccine insanity or wars, where what was that? The QAnon gaslighting, that just by being around somebody who had been vaccinated, you could like die. I don't know. But it is a challenge for the human condition, perception, the ability to truly connect with the resonation of truth, to resist. It's a bifurcation. To resist splits, right? This all or nothing kind of, or them. One of the things that really I started noticing, especially around 2015, were these conspiracies. David Icke about the lizard people, and this subtle but insidious QAnon gaslighting, where somebody thought that they're Pizzagate, that there was like a child place underneath a pizza shop, and it didn't even have a basement. But then you have this gaslighting with the reverse, where you have the whole Epstein thing, where and he was part of that gaslighting and part of the creation of QAnon. Man, everything can be traced to Epstein and Epstein's conversations with Putin, devising this false reality, and this is KGB stuff, so that you can come in insidious ways and take over the perception of the truth. But it is a spiritual challenge to resonate with the truth, and that's our challenge right now. Does that make sense? Let me look at your comments here. I don't mean to be missing them here. Agree with that. Carolyn says, agree with that about people not trusting us. UK has big problems too. Putin working through Farage. Brexit was an op. Yes, I absolutely agree. We aren't the first to experience this. We're just talking about that, Ivy. Yeah, Trump is shaking hands with North Korea. Yeah, but that's the point. That's the purpose of Putin, Putin's KGB and his affiliation with all the players allegedly. Anyway, no, I don't know what. It's just my perception. That's what I should say. Although we kind of pretty much know of his administration, all of those players, their affiliations with Russia. But Russia's not doing well. Regardless, I guess it would be one thing if Russia had defeated Ukraine and was thriving, and that'd be far scarier to think about. But they are ironically melting down. Everything is backlashing against them, and Putin seems to be becoming more and more deluded in terms of how he's playing this game. He thinks that none of this really is going to end him. I truly believe that he is insane. And I think if you look at our cabinet, a lot of them are insane. I mean, look at Bobby. And we're dealing with very powerful people who are insane. So they're making very illogical decisions. And even though they're extremely powerful, the richest people in the world, they seem to be, it's counterintuitive, but decisions they make seem to completely come against them. And I don't believe Putin's government's going to be around for very much longer. And my prayer and my hope and what my guides show me is the probability that you will have a NATO-backed Russian resistance that will come in and take over that government and bring it into a more progressive Western democracy. And then we're going to get to know a bunch of stuff that Russia was up to. And you can just look, I mean, as much as I know they're bombarding Ukraine and we're not, this country's not giving Ukraine the promised self-defense, the anti-ballistic missile defense system, which they were promised. It doesn't seem to matter because really it looks like Crimea now is pretty much defeated. Moscow's in flames. Their infrastructure, a lot of it is destroyed. And it's going to end. It's going to end one way or the other. Sandra says, I've always heard exposing the evil, we are all the light. Light always wins. Oh, we are the light. Light always wins. Yes, that seems to be what's happening. And I asked my guides what they wanted to tell you guys. And they showed me, and I've been feeling this. I don't know if anybody else has been feeling this. And I know it's kind of an esoteric thing to think about, but in this time of intense transformation of the dimensional reality of the earth, and people have been talking about this for a long time with the age of Aquarius and the ascension, rising people activating their fifth, the fifth dimension, that the result has been, because the shift in vibration of our dimensional reality is so extreme that you have, and I know I've talked about this on other lives, but you have this dimensional split where there's no gray area anymore. It's either we're going to shift to a higher vibration or we're going to hold on to the lower vibration. So the evil, the ones who don't want the higher vibrations to come in, and they don't want that because then they can't live in the lower density fields, which where they can hold on to ego and anger and greed and exploitation, all the things that as you rise to higher vibration, you can't hold on to you have to let go of everything, right? Just like when we die and we pass over to the light. We can't take things with us, but they want to take everything with them. They're vampires. And that's why they have such a huge, and I'm talking about Teal and people like that, um, interest in living forever as a physical body. Just the way like Epstein wanted to live on forever through his genetic code, and so he um, wanted to freeze his organs and his seed. So, I mean, he had that breeding farm right in Zorro Ranch, they say. So they have this fixation, but that density is becoming. It was interesting. The guides were showing me like it heating up. It actually is beginning to burn itself alive, and they're burning themselves alive by increasing their density. It's increasing their the heat. I can't explain it. It's like the heat of their world. Because it's like friction or something. It's just not possible for it to survive without self-destructing as the planetary energies are moving us forward. So the dimensions are splitting, and we're feeling the furnace, I guess you could call it hell or something, but the heat, the fire of and the self destruction of that dimension. And you think back to Nero watching Rome burn. Yeah, that's kind of a metaphor for that. I hope that answered whatever question. I can't remember the question I was answering, Daniel, was your question, right? Because the guys were showing me that we're not doomed, because we have to move forward. We can hang on to the old dimensions, and we can be burned up in that fire, or we can transform and be phoenixes and move forward and have be able to experience this beautiful new dimensional reality that's coming. Yeah, I agree. It's harder on us who actually care. Mimi says Rump is the Antichrist. Daniel's saying breaking news: U.S. just put sanctions on World Court. Unbelievable. Kathanese is saying there's so much information available regarding Trump-Putin connection. When will this alliance become generally accepted as reality by the public? Yeah, that is my question too. When? So when is my weakest link? And maybe not. I mean, there's certain things in terms of timing. There's divine timing, which I always forget about. But divine timing is the overarching karmic unfolding of events so that everything happens as it's meant to happen. And sometimes we really, really want something to happen now, but it's not the best time for it. So we have to wait. Even though it seems like it should happen right now, and God, could it happen right now? So I think that is why the timing is hard. And also, there's always free will. There's always moving parts. It's, we don't live in a what's determined world. We determine it, and some things are determined, but some things are very random, and there's always space for free will to change up everything. Let's see. Going to ask the guides. Nevertheless, this is so silly of me. Then I always say, well, I'll ask anyway about timing. Oh, okay. They're just saying, yes, Melissa, divine timing, 100%. People need to adjust their thinking to it, because it's very true. Sometimes if things happen too quickly, you don't get the best result for the highest good and for the majority of the people. But soon, they feel it so soon. Oh, this change is coming so soon that ends the evil. And not necessarily on any given day, but if you see, like, even in the course of the last 5 years, they're reminding me, like, or how long has the Ukraine war gone on? Is it longer than 5 years? Um, or the attack on Ukraine? Um, could anybody have thought then that Ukraine would be in such a good position now? I mean, they have come to a whole new place. It's hard to even imagine that they've been capable of doing what they're doing and moving into a truly a world power. And I remember doing a reading on this when Ukraine was first invaded by Putin this time, and I still see, how the cards came out, which was the world would come together to defend Ukraine, and Ukraine would be victorious. But I thought at that time, I was like, oh, it's going to be this December or something foolish like that. Of course, years later, I just, maybe I saw it as the angels saw it, because maybe they saw it as it was like the next day. Their timing is completely different from mine. Their perception is completely different. But at the same time, that had worked out exactly how the card said it was going to work out. It's just that I couldn't see the timing, and probably because I wanted it to be over quickly. But, and who could see that Putin would be in such a bad place, even though they've successfully managed a coup in this country? They've chosen, like, the gang who could coup straight, these stupid people, that in the end it's gonna all fall down here, because they're too greedy, too stupid, to run by this demented madman, and Putin himself, I think, probably having dementia, or maybe some other form of mental illness. But as much as they're gaining, they're losing. And as hard as it is for us to experience what we're experiencing, it is changing. Things are changing. We are choosing, right, what we want to see. So that's a very good question. Don't know if I answered it at all, but that's what they're trying to show me, the when of it. But they do say it soon. And it's happening. Like, you can see it happening right now. The question is, maybe asks, why isn't our military removing Trump and his coup? Yeah, I asked the same question. Like, why? Because I saw that. And I think some other psychics saw that too, that the army would come up and remove them. And the guides still say that is a thing. It's just the way that our democracy is set up, where they've been very clever, this administration, just pushing the boundaries a bit at a time, being pushed back and then pushing out more. And so that's the word I keep on getting, unprecedented. It's unprecedented. It's never happened before in this country, that the military would have to do something like that. But the guides do say it is being discussed, and it will happen almost overnight. And especially now, seeing how our troops are being treated, the army, our generals, even the ones that were fired, they're not out of the game yet. And the military will push back, and I hope that's the case. Let's see. Let me look at the comments here. Ivy says, I believe human trafficking continues. Do you think that Epps files are even a diversion for that? Well, yeah, human trafficking still continues 100%. Unfortunately, and they do show me Russia being really tied up in human trafficking. And some other countries, but somehow it all comes back to, why does it always come back to Russia? but not a diversion. The Epstein files are not a diversion to what's going on now. Maybe they're a map to uncovering what's going on now, but not a diversion. Ivy says, I feel an undercurrent of feminism coming. Yes, the divine feminine, right? I see it too. It definitely feels like hell on earth, says Mimi. Land Girl says, Melissa, we're all exhausted. I love listening to what you hear from your guides. Thank you. And you ask, do you see Blanche releasing the Epstein files Katie Fang requested, or will it be held in contempt or arrested or will he be held in contempt or arrested for defying the judge's order? Little by little, drip by drip, still they're trying, like, oh, you know, like the tarot card, the Four of Pentacles. And maybe it's the Gilded Tarot deck, but where the man, or no, maybe it's the Rider-Waite deck, where he's in this kind of like I don't know, like a space. It looks like maybe in on a castle tower or something, and he's holding on to the pentacles and doesn't want to let them go. And that's why he was hired for the job of DOJ is that. But he'll have to give them up because of court orders. And they're also telling me that they're going to be released from other sources. Iran via Russia, you know, we may have them spilled out into the open by like anonymous sources because of like anger at maybe feeling the orange one's failing at his job or something like that, like revenge, or just to play with him, just to because they hate him so much. Or there's, I don't want to say hate, I'd say contempt. There's so much contempt for him. And look at the Lego, Iranian Lego cartoon. It's pretty funny. Buffy says it's getting close to 5 years for that war. Yeah, Sandra, 100%. Zelensky for the Nobel Peace Prize. I think he will win one, yeah. Yes. I love Zelensky so much. So let me think of, and please continue with your questions, and I will think of other things to talk about, which there are a lot. Of course, we still have the ongoing ridiculousness of the orange one leaving the journalist and his administration on the decoy plane. I don't know if anybody watches Mermaid Mama Maggie, and she's amazing. She's like Lysandra, both incredibly talented female comedians who do shorts and are great impersonators. They're amazing, those women. And she said something like she'd been following Natalie Harp since 2019 or something. But she heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but she heard that Natalie was originally on the decoy plane, but she threw such a tantrum when she somehow found out that Rump wasn't on that plane, that he or wasn't going to be on that plane. Somehow she was in the know, and she badgered him so that he finally took her into the catering van on the other plane. But I'm not sure if that's true. Yeah, isn't she great, Ivy? I don't know what I would do without those women. And there's another really good one I just found. It's something like at Jean Pirro, Pirro, and she's an incredible impersonation of Pirro. Let me see what else the guys want to talk about with you. I have been thinking all kinds of things, but at the same time, it's been so upsetting at times. I just don't want to hear. So I just have to turn off whomever Midas Touch or Legal AF or whatever the pundits are. God bless them, but I just think I can't go there in my head right now. Let's see. What else can I talk about, guys? Emotional. So they emotionally, that's the point. They want to burn us out. They want us to feel like this. We really have to resist. We really have to rise up, stop even thinking, oh, I can't stand this. When is this going to end? This has to end soon. We have to resist that, they say, because it will end. But we have to raise our vibration. That's our spiritual mission. No matter what's happening right now. I know I've said this before, but this is what the guys always say to me. We need to raise our vibration up, take the breaths, come into our center, key into the higher vibrations, and channel them on this planet. Let the angels come through us. Let the light come through us, even when it's hard, even when we feel like we've had enough and it is hell on earth. Oh yeah, I remember now what I wanted to. I was going to joke about it, even though it's kind of upsetting. Sandra's saying Orange One looked like he had a toilet tank. What was that? Junk in his trunk. Yes. I have to really ask about this. I'm just joking. But just the idea of it is discussing that. Yes, it was junk in his trunk. They guides say allegedly anyway. It was a huge diaper, just loaded up to the gills. Ooh, hasn't anybody changed him? It's like a baby that hasn't been changed. Oblivious. He was oblivious to that huge diaper. And it's getting worse. His incontinence and his inability to control his bowels, the guides say, is getting worse. Health is getting worse. Dementia is getting worse. It's all just getting worse for him. He really doesn't have much time left, they say. Sandra says, yuck. Buffy's asking about the MR vaccine, the administration's. Yeah, that was crazy. I saw that presser. Did anybody see the woman behind Jamie? Her name's Jamie. What's her last name? Franklin. She looked like a cyborg. I'm pretty sure that woman was a cyborg. I don't know where the real Jamie is, but she had the same expressions, and they would cycle through a certain, several minute interim, and she would jerk her head, and she would blink her eyes, etc., in a way that a robot would. I cannot believe that was a real person. Did you remember her standing behind him when they were talking about that vaccine issue? It's all for money. It's all about pharmacies and making it. Somehow there's a profit. All of that, just very cynically, and to appeal to the base. It was oh yeah, they hate us. According to the latest polls, how can we get our base back? We'll talk about vaccines. I'll do it. That's why they did it. The guides say. Buffy says, yeah, I believe she has a button to snap him to life when he falls asleep. But if you go back and look at it, she just did not look like a real person. Ivy says extremists have been attacking Gaza. Yeah. and taking their property. So horrific. It's not always going to be like that there. The Israeli government, it will also, I'm asking the guys as I say this, it's going to transform too into a better, much better, diverse government or administration. They're going to come, it's going to become like much more democratic at some point. Also, Netanyahu's pretty sick, they say too. These guys don't have very much longer. Yeah, Buffy says, I agree. She did look like a robot. She could have been. Why not? Why not bring out the robot? You know, like all these AI bros. I'm sure they've been working on it. I'm surprised they don't have a Melania robot lookalike, because Melania has been gone. Everybody thinks it's because of the whole Natalie Harp scandal. One thing I wanted to bring up, and I could be completely wrong about this, but you know the shock gloves that the ICE are getting? It occurred to me that it was a little dangerous to be wearing gloves that are, electrified. So I Googled it to see, are they safe? Like, how do they work? And I was thinking that just is, besides the harm they're going to do to others, like they just cannot end well. And it turns out these gloves, which I think the company is owned by or invested in by, the Rump Boys. I think it's their company. I'm not sure. Or they have some interest in it. And of course, I wouldn't be surprised. But there's some new development or something where they work on the sensory system, so that I think they can emit a lot of, they're weak electrical shocks, but they can emanate a lot of pain because of just the way that they work on the system. But just FYI, I was really curious about what happens if it rains, or so they can handle light moisture, but if they get soaked, if those gloves get submerged in water per se, or some kind of moisture, they short out. Can you imagine? They're not safe. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't see them as being safe. And there's going to be a lot of ridiculous situations caused by those stupid gloves. Because how can you avoid that at some point? A heavy rain, or getting water thrown on you, or something like that. Yes, water and electricity. Why put them together? I had wondered about that, but you guys can go Google those gloves. It's just a stupid thing. It's a liability for the ICE people. Not that I like the ICE people, but it's still a stupid thing to do to anybody. Having to wear these potential disasters. You're having to wear these gloves that, God knows what could happen if they're plunged into water. It's not good. But it's just another grift, right? Another company that I don't even think that company has been fully, those gloves have been out very long. It's just, and the lack of training for ICE is just, it's just crazy. So watch for that. What else can I tell you guys? I will do a past life again. I'm sorry that I have not done one recently. I don't get as many views as I would like on those. There's only maybe YouTube doesn't tell people, or people aren't that interested in past lives. But I get enough. But I don't know. Maybe it's a like a leap too far for some people. But I'd still like to do them. Yes, exactly, Ivy. Fire hydrants are a definite defense. FYI, just not that I'm telling anybody to do that, but it is a vulnerability. It's going to be crazy. So I'll do, but I love doing past lives, so I will do another past life. I just haven't really settled on who I want to do one for. Um, but I will. Yes, I'm available for personal readings. I read on the present, past, and future in this life, past lives. I'm a medium, and I love to introduce you to your guardian angels. Just get in touch with me via my email or text, which is going to be in the description box, and we can set something up. Daniel says your channel is now going up against all the celebrities that has joined. Can you clarify that? I'm not sure what that means. Oh, that's O's Daniels. At first I thought it was Daniel. Daniel B. Buffy says, can you ask the guides about ICE setting up liability insurance to protect from being sued when murdering people? It's not going to work. I see Stephen Miller. I see him involved in that. And somehow, in the end, when everything, this regime, this heinous regime ends, and we go on to a saner government, it's gonna, anything like that's going to be dismantled. It's not going to help. So there will be accountability there. Yeah, that's what the guides show me. So we can only hope. Let's see what else. I can ask them how August might end. Remember people asking me at the beginning of this month, would August be easier than July? And it was like, no. And it is panning out that way. Not easier. These guys are relentless to, bring on misery and pain and, authoritarianism. The guides say they just won't be successful. The odds are against them. The world, the energies are just against them. People are not receptive. The way that karma is set up right now with these energies is that there will always be a backlash, always against, committing evil. There's always going to be a backlash, and it's going to be instant karma. That's what we're seeing before our eyes. As painful as it is to, watch how this government operates, we're going to see it happen. And not that we're going to not enjoy some of it, because we do, right? Like the whole Natalie Harp thing is pretty funny. Those Lego movies or cartoons are pretty funny. But I mean, it's just the nefariousness of their operation. Oh, thank you, Ivy. Ivy says, thank you as always, Melissa. I love being here. Blessings to you and yours. And blessing back at you. One more thing, I guess, and then I can end. And there is a musical outro. Oh, hey, Peachy, I haven't seen you. I'm feeling so hopeless lately for everyone. Nothing seems to be going in our favor on the macro or micro. Everyone but the rich are suffering. So I'm not sure if you've been able to watch the whole video, but my guides definitely have things to say about that. And the main thing they say is that no matter how dark it looks or how much it seems like evil is winning, they just won't win because of the astrological, spiritual energies that are coming in continuously. Like Aquarius is here, and this ascension energy is here. So we need to, like I say in other videos too, we need to stay in our center spiritually. We need to stay strong. We have been through many lifetimes where we have seen a lot of darkness, but the challenge has always been to stay true to our soul, to our resonance with the truth, to always be on the path of compassion and kindness, no matter how hard life is, no matter how difficult it is, to follow this path. We need to stay on our path and not feel like, oh, it's not working out, so I'm going to go off my. Not that anybody would do that, but the temptation to just like throw up your hands and say it's not worth it because nothing seems to be working out. That is a challenge. That is like a temptation that this idea that I only stay on my spiritual path if things work out. That can't be it. That can't be right. That can't be where we've come. We've come so far. And no matter what's going on the external world, to stay true to our hearts, and to be in touch always and lift ourselves up to be in touch with the divine and to channel the light, no matter what. So that's the message they want to give you. And I know it's hard. I know it's extremely challenging, but we've, as spirits, been here through many lifetimes, and that's always, sometimes I'm sure lifetimes have been, I don't want to say good, but, easier than other lifetimes. And there's been less darkness and less evil, but there's certainly been lifetimes before this one where there's been much evil. But at the same time, we are always our souls, whether we're in our physical body or in our spiritual body, or both, if that makes any sense. Oh, that's okay, Linda. It's good to see you. It's just one of those days. Hey, Rose Blue. 106 in Texas. Like I'll put you up there. That's very hot. I thought it was hot here and humid, but it's really only in the 80s. I guess it's like a cold spell there. Buffy's saying, I guess you can say if we survive past lifetimes, then we can survive this one too. 100%. And there's always more love, more kindness, more random acts of kindness, more good that we can do no matter what's going on. There's always opportunities, to even surprise ourselves and rise up to the light and be the light, right? And be a channel for the light. Every day is a choice. Oh, thank you, Lori. Rose says this is normal for August in Texas. Yeah, this is humid weather is normal for Michigan too. So I love you guys, and no matter what, no matter what the situation is or the environment, our souls need each other and recognize each other. We surely are all collectively, we are one. And there's a reason we come together in this time. So I am going to sign off for now. I'll see you next week. And please get out there and, or you don't have to get out there. I'm thinking getting out in nature, or go within, listen to some beautiful music, or dance, or play a drum, or create something, do something beautiful, manifest something that gives you joy, no matter what. Just in between now and next Tuesday, that is your homework. If you don't mind doing it, just think about something that gives you pleasure. And please do it. Don't let them take our joy. Don't let them take our joy. I'm going to end now. Love you. I'll see you soon, okay?